The day my wife gave birth to another man's child, her parents hired 10 security guards to keep me away from the maternity ward. But I never showed, I didn't make a scene. Later, I heard her mother was holding her hand, stroking her hair. "Ava, don't you worry," she'd said. "We'll make sure he doesn't get within 100 feet of you. Your father has men watching the main entrance too. If he dares to show up and cause trouble, we'll have him arrested." Ava, pale and exhausted, managed a weak nod, but her eyes still drifted towards the elevator bank. The space was empty. Only then did she finally let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. She couldn't understand it. All she was doing was giving her high school sweetheart a child, a legacy before he died. Why couldn't I just understand that? As a nurse placed the crying infant in her arms, a genuine, relieved smile spread across her face. She told herself that if I came to visit her the next day, she would forgive all our recent fights. She would even be willing to let me be the baby's father. What she didn't know was that I had just filed my final paperwork with Doctors Without Borders. In 7 days, I would renounce my American citizenship and disappear into the world's forgotten corners. I was never coming back. The day Ava was discharged from the birthing center, I was finishing the last of my handover paperwork at the hospital. I walked up to her parents' front door and paused, my hand on the knob. Laughter spilled from inside. "He's such a beautiful baby," her mother cooed. "Those big eyes, he got them from his father, that's for sure." Leo emerged from the kitchen holding a steaming bowl of homemade chicken soup. "I made this myself," he said, his voice a gentle hum. "You're still weak, you need to build up your strength." He sat on the edge of the bed, feeding Ava spoonful by spoonful with a tenderness that screamed of domestic bliss. They looked like a perfect family. Her father, shaking a baby rattle, was grinning from ear to ear. "This little guy is just so charming, just like his dad. Thank God he's not Ethan." Can you imagine? Having a doctor for a father would be a nightmare, all work and no play. My hand tightened on the doorknob until my knuckles were white. I remembered the first time I met her father. He'd clapped me on the shoulder, beaming. "A doctor, saving lives, it's an honor to have you in the family." He told me he'd been a surgeon himself, forced into early retirement by a violent patient who'd ruined the nerves in his hand. Now he was saying a doctor wasn't fit to have a family. I had been away for a 1-year fellowship. In that single year, this home had become a place where I no longer belonged. I lowered my head, a bitter taste filling my mouth. Ava and I had been married for 3 years. She told me she was staunchly child-free, and I understood the risks of childbirth, the 9 circles of hell ordeal it can be for a woman. I never pushed her. I remember the day I left for my fellowship abroad. She cried, her eyes red-rimmed, telling me she couldn't bear to be without me. For that entire year, we were inseparable despite the distance. We called every day, sharing every little detail of our lives. My colleagues would tease me, saying we were like newlyweds even after 3 years. Then 1 month ago, I finally got approval for a surprise trip home. I endured an 8-hour flight, my body screaming with exhaustion, but I didn't care. I rushed straight from the airport, only to find Ava on our doorstep, her belly swollen and round, her hand in that of her first love. Leo's voice pulled me from the memory. "Ethan, man, when did you get back? Why are you just standing in the doorway?" The laughter inside died, everyone turned to look. When Ava's father saw the resignation letter in my hand, his brow furrowed into a tight knot. "How did I ever entrust my daughter to someone like you? What a disgrace. You quit your job. What's the plan, Ethan? Are you expecting us to support you? What kind of husband are you?" Her mother chimed in, her finger pointed at me like an accusation. "You quit? That job was a golden ticket and you couldn't even handle that. What can you do? Ava's recovering, the baby needs things, money, Ethan, or do you expect the 3 of you to live on it?"
Click the link on the homepage to watch the full follow-up for free.